Hey, what's up? So today we're going to be replacing the display on this HP Pavilion P100, HP Pavilion 15 P100DX. So first things first, gonna remove the battery. It's held in place by these two clips. Just slide them both to the unlock position. And the battery pops right out. Pretty straightforward. Just gonna set that aside. So the display itself is secured underneath the screws that secure the display to the display assembly are underneath this black plastic bezel, which is held in place by clips and two screws hidden under these plastic covers in the bottom corners. So we're just going to go ahead and pop those out of there. These things can be a pain to find if you lose them, like drop them in your carpet or something. So I highly recommend just sticking them to the bezel right next to the screw. Make sure you keep track of them. We're just going to go ahead and take out the two screws, one there, one here. Nice and easy. So the next step is to get rid of this bezel. It's held in place only with clips at this point. So we're just going to use like a thin piece of plastic, preferably smooth so you don't scratch up your laptop. If you have an iFix pry tool, that's probably the best tool for this job. So just slide your whatever tool you're using in between the screen and the bezel and just give it a little twist at regular intervals to make sure you pop those clips out. They come out with a pretty satisfying click. You'll know when you do it. Just go all the way around, take your time. Make sure you don't force anything. And once you've got all the clips, it just comes right off. Easy peasy. The next step is to remove the screws that secure the screen in place. So there's going to be one here, one here, one here, and one here for 4 in total. Keep in mind that these are all Phillips head screws. At this point, we're pretty much in the home stretch. So basically, you can just kind of get your nails underneath that. Make sure you're really gentle when you're removing this panel because, I mean, I'm assuming you're replacing it, so it's probably broken, so you don't care too much about it. But the thing is, it's still connected to your laptop via this display cable right here. So if you don't take care with it, you just kind of like yank it out. You can pull out the cable to damage the connector, and then you're in a lot of trouble. So with this connector, you kind of just want to undo the tape. You want to undo this tape, and then it kind of pulls outward, and you lift up to remove it. Easy as that. Now we're gonna replace it with our new screen from laptopscreen.com. It's identical to the original one. It's the connector in the same place, so you're just gonna go ahead and reattach that connector. Should have a pretty good idea of how it works if you are able to remove it. Press it in. Pull the tape taut. Good to go. Now you're pretty much just going to want to put the screen back in the original position. There are these little gray plastic pegs right next to the screw holes that you want to line up the little mounting holes in the display with. There's only one right way to do it, and it's pretty obvious if you're not doing it right or if it's in the wrong position. So just go ahead and replace those screws. At this point, you should probably go ahead, make sure the display is working before you go through all the work of reattaching the bezel and all that. So I'm just gonna give it a try. So far so good. It's gonna take a while for this to boot up. This machine doesn't have an SSD in it. But while it's doing that, we might as well reattach the bezel. Hooks right into place. And just kind of go around the edges, apply like kind of a gentle pressure, and the clips just kind of snap back into place. It's not a huge deal if you don't get all the clips. It's just that maybe one day when you're picking up your laptop, you kind of pinch on the edges, you'll hear the pop. It's always a little weird, but yeah, not a huge deal. Alright, bezel's back in place. Looks like the display is working fine. Just gonna go ahead and shut this down. All that's left at this point is to replace these two screws in the corner. Replace the little black covers, and alright, you're good to go. Display replaced. HP Pavilion P100DX, ordered from laptopscreen.com.